Today we will talk about negative thinking, the highest form of intelligence. We generally think positively, even what you think is positive or negative. Even the content of your thoughts, what you imagine, what you simply think has positive meaning or negative meaning, positive effects or negative effects. We call that positive thinking. That means a thought that goes to a direction. This kind of thinking that we are accustomed to do is due to our conditioning. We only know to think that way. We think about winning something or losing something. We think that winning something is positive and losing something is negative. But actually, the two forms of thinking are positive. They're always going to a direction, they have a name. What we will discover today is what is negative thinking and how it is the highest form of intelligence. If positive thinking is following what is being taught to us, what is being conveyed to us by the society, by school, by our teachers, by our parents, by what we have learned from TV, from books, from everything that we experience in life, negative thinking consists to negate all this. Not negate to just reject them, but to understand that this form of positive thinking is based on conditioning and can lead us to wrong action and wrong result. Often you have seen that desiring something or being afraid of something never give the desired or wanted reaction, result. That's why not question it altogether? So here we are in negative thinking. So negating thought. Why? Because we have tested out each thought and we saw that in its positive movement, thinking is nocive. It's useful in technology, science, technical things, but it's really nocive and painful in relationship, in a relation to life, in a relation to people. When we think something positively or negatively about someone or about life, it's actually a form of bias, which we can just call that stupidity. But questioning our thoughts, questioning our way of thinking, positively or negatively, already break a pattern. And breaking the pattern that has been pushed upon our mind since we are young is a form of intelligence. It's a form of thinking in a new way, thinking out of the box. Can you negate your thoughts? Obviously you can, just because I told it to you or someone else told it to you. You should test it out by yourself. You should test your thoughts. Sometimes you imagine something and you say, it will have that result. Sometimes you're afraid about your boss want to see you tomorrow. And you're afraid and you need to test it out. You need to say to yourself, okay, I'm afraid. But is that fear really legit? Are my thoughts real? Is my tomorrow what I think it will be? So I will see. And I go tomorrow in front of my boss and observe. Was I right to be afraid? Generally, nothing we think about life, it's what will happen. So when you realize that, you begin to take a great distance from your thoughts. Not distance like space, like you throw them away, because you have observed them clearly, really closely, they begin to lose their influence on you because you have tested out the result, the effect they give in your life. As the effect was never what we thought, we begin to say to ourselves, what the hell I know? I know nothing. So to say that I know that I don't know is actually negative thinking. Is to know that what you know may be wrong. Your knowledge can be biased. Today there is a lot of research about knowledge bias. You can read about a lot of papers about it. Just type on Google or ask DeepSeek on EA. So we little by little begin to discover that we don't know, and what we know can be totally wrong. And to understand that deeply and to apply that in your daily life, it's negative thinking. By negative thinking, you attain a form of intelligence that has no reference, that has no basis, but it's based its action on circumstances, to the observation and understanding of the problems, of the challenge as they come. This kind of thinking, it's what we need today in the world, because all we live, all the thing you say that has no sense in this world actually is based on positive form of thinking based on some knowledge, some pattern, on what someone said before. But when you understand what is thinking, when you understand yourself, and when you begin to be free of your thoughts, you enter into the field of negative thinking, which is not negative at all. On the contrary, it's the most beautiful thing that you can do in your life. Because when you understand that you can act by circumstances instead of accumulated knowledge, you discover new talents, new way of acting, new intelligence in you. You are not stupid. Maybe you are lazy to learn, to accumulate knowledge, to memorize, but maybe you are really skillful in action. And to enter into negative thinking, it's to test out one's skills, one's swiftness in action. And one discovers when one lives like that one can do a lot of things. One is really smart. Even one doesn't know anything, one can know and understand things now, by observation, by attention. Imagine you have a problem. People generally say, I will do this, I will do that to solve that problem. And what they say they will do come from knowledge that they have previously. But when you are in the negative thinking, you discard all this. So you begin to, what you do when you have no reference, no knowledge, you begin to observe the problem. And in the observation of the problem and in the understanding of it, you have the answer. The answer is not in your past knowledge, accumulated memory. The answer is in the problem. And studying the problem, you will learn so much, not only about the problem, but everything surrounding the problem. So I hope this video finds you well and you try that, and maybe you will discover a new way of action which will bring you a totally new talents and skills that you will discover. And discovering that kind of thing surely bring joy, bring happiness that we all look for. Happiness and joy and this feeling of freedom is not in the accumulative knowledge, in positive thinking. In positive thinking, it's full of illusion of what we want, what we don't want, and it's so childish. But when one understands all this and go beyond, one enters into the incredible, amazing negative thinking where life is always fresh. Friends, take care of you. I will come to you with great videos. Thank you.